Welcome to the December 21st HPC meeting, the Village of Pinehurst Historic Preservation Commission. The purpose of this commission is to decide applications for certificates of appropriateness for new construction or major work within the Pinehurst Historic District, and to do so by conducting hearings and making findings of fact when such applications come before us. By law, the commission is directed to take no action except to prevent construction or alterations that would be incongruous with the special character of the historic district. I am Richard Vincent. I'm the chair of the commission, and I'll ask each commissioner, starting from my left, to state his or her name for the record.
Angelique Fabiani.
Kara Mathis.
Roxanne Vaitkus.
David Herring.
We have a quorum. All commissioners are present, so we can proceed. Also present from staff, we have Pamela Graham, we have Ms. Shelby Groh, Michael Mandeville, and we have Maria Carpenter. Our first order of business is to review and approve the minutes of our last meeting. All commissioners have been provided with copies of the draft minutes from the November 16th meeting. I unfortunately wasn't at that meeting, so I'll let you guys weigh in. Are there any comments? Okay. So if there are no comments, does anyone have a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
David Herring made the first motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Roxanne. All commissioners in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nay? Okay, that's 5. Now we'll have a motion to enter into the public hearing. Would anyone like to make a motion?
So moved.
Ms. Kara Mathis,
Second.
second from David Herring. We are, I'll have to say, all in favor, say aye, right? So we got a first and we got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, that's 5. Okay, we are now in the public hearing. This is a quasi-judicial hearing. That means that anyone desiring to testify must be sworn in, and the commission is required to consider only facts presented in this hearing. The proceedings are also video recorded. I will ask the commissioners if they have visited this site on our docket today and whether they have had any ex parte communication with respect to the case that we'll be considering. I'll start on my left again.
Visited the site, no ex parte communications.
Same for me, visited the site, no ex parte communication.
Visited the site, no ex parte communication.
As I'm familiar with the site, I did not visit the site, but I had no ex parte communication.
Visited the site, no communication.
Good deal. Thank you.
Okay.
In each case that the commission will hear this afternoon, staff will first present a summary of the application, the staff's evaluation to the extent which the application complies with the commission standards for such an application or raises issues that require further information, the staff's comments on the application, and where appropriate, the staff's recommendations for commission action. The application and its supporting documents, as well as the staff's detailed report, will then be entered into the record. Commissioners will then have an opportunity to question staff about this report and testimony. Next, the applicant or the applicant's representatives will have an opportunity to provide any additional information supporting their application and to address any questions or issues identified in staff's testimony. Commissioners will then have an opportunity to question the applicant or applicant witnesses. After the applicant's presentation, if any member of the public wishes to present any evidence either in support or in opposition to the application, please come forward at that time and identify yourself. We will swear you in and give you an opportunity to present any reasons why you believe that the application should be granted or denied. Please remember, the commission is interested in facts that will help us decide whether the proposed work would be congruous with the special character of the Pinehurst Historic District. As chair, I have the right to exclude testimony that is not relevant to that subject, but I'm not required to do so. Commissioners will then have an opportunity to question you about your testimony. If the applicant or staff wishes to respond to your testimony, I will permit them to do so. I will now swear in members of staff. Will all staff, the two of you, who may give evidence in this proceeding, please stand. I'll ask you to raise your right hand. We'll swear you in. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give to the commission with respect to all cases on our docket today shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. Okay, we can proceed to our first case.
Ready? Okay, this case is for a certificate of appropriateness. The applicant is Calvin Berkeley, representing the resorts of Pinehurst. The property location is 1 Carolina Vista. The land use is recreational development. The PID number is 000-25799, and the case number is 2023-00479. The purpose of this public hearing is to consider a request for a major certificate of appropriateness within the Pinehurst Historic District for the demolition of the scoreboard that is adjacent to the driving range at 1 Carolina Vista. The property is identified as Moore County PID number 000-25799. The property owner is the Resorts of Pinehurst LLC, and the applicant is Calvin Berkeley. The applicant requests a certificate of appropriateness for the removal of the scoreboard that is adjacent to the driving range at Pinehurst Resort and Country Club. The property is further identified as Moore County PID number 000-25799. The parcel contains the Pinehurst number 2 golf course and is plus or minus 182.27 acres in size. According to the applicant, it was originally built for the 1999 U.S. Open as a temporary scoreboard. It was not torn down afterwards, and it was rebuilt after it fell in 2015. Demolition not considered, this is major work because it's a demolition not considered to be minor work. Excuse me. And here's a public hearing notification. You'll see the project area in the hatched, or the parcel that the scoreboard is on is in the hatched area. The red outline is all the adjacent neighbors to that property. Here's a couple pictures of the scoreboard. This is the front and back photos of the scoreboard. Here's overhead aerial. As you can see on each picture, the clubhouse is top left or top middle in relation to where the scoreboard is. The applicant has submitted an application and provided additional documentation in an attempt to satisfy the burden of proof. The commission will need to determine if the demolition of the scoreboard is congruous with the historic district and meets the historic district standards. At this time, the staff would like to submit the following into the record: the staff report with attachments and exhibits, the presentation, the application, and the applicant's material and exhibits.
Thank you. Without objection, staff's materials will be admitted into the record. Commissioners, any questions for staff? Are we sure? Okay.
I was looking for shutters, but
Yeah.
Seeing as that there were no shutters, let's hear from the applicant. Mr. Berkeley, is there anything? Okay. Applicant is present. Mr. Berkeley? Yep. I'm going to have you come forward, which you are. Have you stand by the microphone. I'm going to have you state your name, spell your last name for the record, and state your relationship to the property.
Calvin Berkeley, it's B as in boy, U-R-K-L-E-Y, and I'm the Director of Projects at the resort.
Thank you. I'm now going to swear you in and have you raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you shall give to the commission with respect to this application shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you. Feel free to stand or be seated, however, whatever makes you comfortable. Okay, you've been sworn in. Is there anything in the staff presentation that you disagree with or would like to revise or clarify, or anything else that you would like to add in support of your application at this time?
I think the staff report's accurate. The only thing I'd add is that part of why we're tearing it down, the USG has no interest in using that scoreboard, and so we don't really have need for it.
Thank you.
And I did find an interested party to take some of the materials. So I think that was one of the things that the staff had mentioned as a standard in the, I think, item 3 that you had listed. I did find somebody that has interest to take the material.
Seeing as though this is my first, and as much as I'd like to drag this out and have lots of questions, do fellow commissioners have any questions for the applicant? Seeing none and hearing none, if there is any member of the public who wishes to present any evidence either in support or in opposition to the application, please come forward at this time and identify yourself. Seeing none, we'll now move to any deliberation if required, and if no deliberation, is there any commissioner that cares to make a motion?
I think you're supposed to close the evidentiary.
I appreciate that, Mr. Herring.
Make a great vice chair.
Bear with me, folks. Okay. The record in this case is closed, and the commissioners will deliberate. Is there any deliberation, or is anyone prepared to make a motion?
Happy to make a motion. But first, I want to congratulate you on your new chairship. You've done a fine job, and I'm sure you'll do a great job. Thank you for being our chair.
Thank you, David.
I move that the Historic Preservation Commission approve a certificate of appropriateness and find the proposed major work at 1 Carolina Vista is consistent with the Historic District standards and is deemed congruous with the Pinehurst Historic District based on the testimony given, the material submitted, and the findings of fact.
Motion made by Mr. Herring. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Angelique. All those in favor say aye.
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 That's 5. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Record
Make
set.
sure I'm following my script here correctly. Congratulations, you have your COA. That concludes the public hearing. May I have a motion to close the public hearing and return to the regular commission meeting?
So moved.
Aaron Mathis has the motion. Second
Second.
by Roxanne. All in favor, say aye.
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 No nay. The motion passes, and we are now in the regular meeting. This is a public meeting, and you're all welcome to stay and observe, but only members of the commission and staff may speak. You have been provided with a copy of the minor work and staff approvals. Has everyone had a chance to look at the minor work COAs?
I just have a question, just out of curiosity. Is the temporary sign for 5 Village Green, is that the old B of A building?
Is it what?
Is that the old Bank of America building? Okay, okay. I was just curious. Temporary sign on a residential property, it made no sense, but then, yeah.
Okay. Is there any other business that we need to discuss? We do have the business of vice chair. I don't think we need to deliberate. That sounds like someone is ready to make a motion.
I hereby nominate the famous Kara Mathis.
Second.
I don't know if you made a motion, but we had the nomination, but I think we'll get there. Angelique, you want to put your hands up? Are you good?
I agree with David.
You'd like to make a formal motion?
So moved.
Oh, we don't have to make a formal motion on this, right? We basically just in our,
Take a vote.
yeah. We can have a vote. Aye.
Aye.
For Karen Mathis, the motion is, I guess, to appoint Ms. Karen Mathis as the Vice Chair of the Historic Preservation Commission.
Do we have to set for a time period, or is it just left open?
I think it would be the remainder for her term is what I would assume, and then if, I guess the question would be if she re-upped for an extra second term, I'd assume it would remain.
Or she'd move up the ladder if,
When I leave, yeah.
They come up in May, right? I think my term's up in May.
First term,
First term's up in May,
okay.
just for reference.
Well, I think we can say all in favor.
aye.
Well, should I ask you first? Would you like the job?
Yes,
Okay,
so
there it
much.
is. Okay. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, congratulations.
Thanks.
Is there any other business that we need to deal with?
I want to just address the conversation we had earlier about the quorum, because moving forward, we'll know. The rules of procedure, which were recently readopted, state under item 4D, a quorum shall consist of a simple majority of the members with filled seats of the commission, not to be less than 3 persons. So there is a minimum number, and the number was 3. So had we had one of you not arrive for the meeting tonight, we still would have had a quorum. And when we fill those remaining 2 seats, the quorum will grow.
Thank you for closing the loop.
Can you give us an update on the progress for the empty seats?
For the applications, I don't think I have any. I know that we do have some applications. I don't believe Village Council has considered those as yet.
Thank you.
I would expect them to be forthcoming.
Thanks, Pamela. The next meeting date, it's right in front of us there, 25th of January, 2024. I can't think of anything else at this time.
We want to try a work session in January? I shouldn't say, do we want to? Should we? Should we?
Well, y'all, should we try? I'm game for that.
On the same day?
Yeah, I'm up for that.
That would be easier for staff if we did it
Same day before.
start at 3 on the 25th.
Have you had, in conversations with applicants, what do you anticipate that January meeting to look like as far as workload?
Next Thursday is the deadline. Probably not a whole lot's going to come in between now and then. We had 1 submitted today, so probably 1.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. If everyone's in favor, we can do that at 3 o'clock on January the 25th.
But let's make sure we can. Okay.
Okay.
That works with
And
the,
who's touched the latest draft of those? Who's got the latest working document from the last time we was?
Well, there's some confusion because the red marks that I produced that most of you have had a chance to review were probably, parts of them were based on sections that had subsequently been revised. So the underlying text to my red marks is no longer current on some of those. So we just have to handle that as we work our way through them.
Okay. So you have the latest draft, but it didn't capture all, it didn't capture the most recent sort of comments and adjustments we made in the last work session.
Well, let's just say the last year.
Okay.
I think the issue was David's copy that he was working on was the previous copy. My standards were different than what he was working on because it had changed, okay, and been approved by council. He was working on an older copy. So some of the changes he was making aren't consistent with what's in here. So that got really confusing.
Yeah.
If you'd like, I'll get the latest, re-redline it. You know, I may have to make a few adjustments to suit the current language, and we can start from there. It'll be a little different, but not a lot different than most of you have already read.
That would really help.
If you'd be kind enough to do that, I think then we're working out of one correct document, and that'll be our baseline for all of us to work on, and for staff when you eventually get to.
Could I get a fresh Word file for
For
me to
the
use?
standards,
Yeah. Thank you.
get you that. And then if you want to either send whatever revisions that you want to go out to the group, you can send them to me, you can send them to Richard. Either way, we can
Okay,
out to everybody.
okay.
Okay. Anything else? That's it? Okay. Well, wish everyone here a Merry Christmas. Thank you for coming out here tonight, this afternoon, and we'll have a motion to adjourn, if anyone wants to make that. I'll make the motion. Okay.
Motion to adjourn to January 25th, 2024.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 No nays. Thank you. Thanks very much, staff.